Let's take a look and see how you can start using Revit to do real work. So one of the things that we do in design is we look at an existing drawing or existing file and we start modifying it to meet other specific needs. So that's what we're going to practice here. We've got a file that has a lot of information in it, and we're going to add some to it, and often that's done through a markup. I'm going to show you the markup right now. Looks like this. Most of this file is already here, most of this drawing, and it tells us about all these elevations and topographies and coordinates and elevations and directions of different lines. And this type of a file is often used as the basis for other types of files. And the one we're going to do now is to add some work about stormwater pollution prevention plans, and then also one about drainage slopes. Both of these are really important, and they contain information that is going to be important to the material considerations for the design. But right now, we just want you to know that you can get into a file, you can do cool stuff to it, and some of those things that you can do are adding annotations to make clear certain information for the designers. So I'm going to pull those out of the way because I'm going to use those myself in a moment as I demonstrate. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use Revit. So again, I'm going to right click and open, and it takes a few moments to come up. Revit is a big program. It's BIM, Building Information Model, and that means it's full of a ton of information. Okay, so it's a pretty big program. It's the industry standard for most construction projects these days. And it's just a requirement to know how to use this if you're in construction management, if you're a contractor, if you're an architect, if you're a landscape architect, if you're an interior designer. Everybody now uses Revit. So we're going to get you some chances to be working with it. All right, so here it comes up. It says all this data privacy stuff, and we're just going to click right past that as soon as it appears. Okay, there we go. And we don't need to sign in or do anything like that. We're going to open a new open a model. I've given you one that's got stuff in it already. And where are we going to get that? As usual, you'll go to My Computer. Okay, and you're going to come down to these instructor files again. Okay, I'm putting everything in that you'll need in VMware in my instructor folder. So where did that go? Highlands High, Design 300, Spring 2024. And there it is. It's a site work job. Okay, so I'll click Open. Takes a while. It's a big file. It's actually a small file, but it's big compared to what you're used to. So there it is. And over here, you'll note that there's drainage, existing, and stormwater pollution prevention plan. And existing is bold. I'm looking at the existing model right here. And that usually gets left all alone. And when I want to put something on it, I make a duplicate and I add it to it. So I'm going to go to the stormwater pollution prevention plan, and I double click the words. Double click. And it doesn't look any different, but now I'm working on that one. You can see it up here. That's the one I'm working on. Right? And I want to put in my notes. Notes are annotations. Annotations. Click annotations. And I'm going to put in some text. So go find the text bar, double click, and put in a leader. And I use the curved leader. Some people use 2 segments. Some people don't. I'm going to do a curved one. And I'm going to point at the 18-foot topo line. There it is right there. I'm going to bring it out here, and I'm going to type what it says. So I'm going to put my caps lock on, SS-2, enter, preserve vegetation, enter, construction fence, enter, along 18-foot topo line, enter, and then just click somewhere out here. There it is. Awesome. I've got it, and I'm pointing at that. If I were to walk along that line, it would be at about 18 feet elevation. If I go up to the next one, it's 20, so I'm going uphill. 22, 24, 26. And then I go flat, because here's another 26, and then I start going downhill. 24, 22, until I get to 20. So that's how I read this. So somebody wants to protect the vegetation down below from the construction debris up above, and make sure that nobody drives down here with a tractor or a truck or dumps anything down here. So they're going to put a fence during construction. So that's cool. My next one is drainage. So I go over to the drainage bar, double click. There I am on drainage. Now I need to know what my drainage looks like. And look, I want to know where the water is going to go. Using that, I can put in drains and swales and collectors and French drains and berms. I can do things to either protect the property or to take the water away in the right way. In particular, if I see things are going down to this stream, I have to protect that stream at all costs because that's the law. Okay? So I'm going to put in some spot slopes so that people can just quickly visualize, click spot slope, which way water would run. That shows which way water would go if you were standing right there. And not only does it show, I'm going to click over there again, not only does it show which way it's going to go, but how steep it is. You go down a ½ inch for every foot. That's not very steep. 2 1/4 for every foot is a little more steep. Okay, 2 inches. These aren't super steep, but they do tell you where water will go. So if I'm going to build, I probably want to build at a high point so that my construction, my building is safe. If I want to put a drain on this property, I'd probably put one over here, and I'd probably put something here so that only clean water could come down here. I might make some sort of a fence and make sure that this was all vegetation, and then put something to make sure that all the rest of the water went the other way. So that's what we're doing. You're just getting used to making what's called markup drawings. It's a skill that every designer and architect and drafter needs, and this is a good place to start. Now, once you've got this file, you're going to need to turn this in or show it to your instructors so that they can verify that you've done your work, but you want to save it. Okay, on VMware, we need to save it in a special way because VMware gets erased as soon as you log off. So I'm going to go to the File button, Save As, and this is a project. Project means that it's got models and annotations and sheets and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to save it as a project, and you have a special drive. So if you go to My Computer, you're going to see one down here under Network with your W number. That's where you want to go. If you put it in the documents or on the desktops or in the downloads, it will be gone when you log back in. So you want to go to the one that has your W number. Find the right folder for you. I'm going to put yours in 300 spring of 24. And I'm going to call this one site work. And I'm going to put my initials on it. And I'm going to say that this was a demo. You can just put your initials on it. Now that's saved, and we can always get back to it somehow, some way. Okay? And then you can either submit that file, or even better yet, just raise your hand, have your instructor who's in the classroom with you check it out, look at both of these, and then your instructor can email me and I can give you your credit.